Hi, my name is Keri Barnum. I am the Executive Director of New Shelves Books, and we're here for Free Advice Friday, the hour every Friday where we talked about book marketing, publishing, and writing. And today we are live. We missed last week, so we are back. We have questions that are both live and that have been emailed in. So I'll take a live question first from Mike. If I change the price of my book on Amazon, how quickly does the change take effect? And then how long does it take to put the price back to normal? So if you change your book price, it takes just as long as a book does to republish. So on Amazon, they say it could take up to 72 hours, but typically that does get pushed out and approved within a matter of a couple of hours, sometimes a day, and your price will change. So if you're planning like an ebook promo or something like that, I always recommend that you drop that price down the day before to make sure that it's down in time for your ebook promotions, or if you're doing some other promotion. And then the same answer for getting your price back up. Once you raise your price, typically a couple hours, but it can take up to 72 hours for them to approve that and get it all set up. And then, can I do a hardback case laminate cover instead of a hardback with a dust jacket? So you can, and in fact, Amazon does not currently do dust jackets. Amazon only does hardback case laminate, which means that it's like actually it's printed or glued. It's glued on a hard cover, and it's like that. It doesn't have a separate dust jacket, so you can do that. For sure. I will say that a lot of times when people are going to buy hardcovers, they do like the dust jacket. So because the pricing is pretty similar, most people, if they're going to do a hardcover, would do a dust jacket, but you don't have to. You can choose to do a case laminate hardcover. That's more common for, let's say, like textbooks or something like that, where people would be traveling with them a lot. So it depends on your book, and also it would depend on what you're really trying to do with that hardcover. If you're trying to offer something that is more like a collectible, so oftentimes, especially in fiction, young adult fiction in particular, there are a lot of people who collect series of books, and so that typically you'd want a dust jacket because that is part of the elegance of it and what's expected. But it is an option. You can do a case laminate hardcover instead of a dust jacket if you'd like. All right, we had a question in. Oh, we had a couple questions. All right, so the first one, actually, there were two that had to do with Amazon reviews. So I wanted to cover both of these all in one shot. Kate was asking, we talked about Amazon reviews not that long ago, and Kate was saying, when I was talking about asking people to leave reviews and encouraging them, Kate had said, I thought we weren't allowed to solicit reviews. Would this get us kind of a black check with Amazon? So it's very tricky, and there's a lot in the wording. You cannot specifically say, please go give me a positive review on Amazon. That is against their terms. Now, they do encourage you, in fact, to just ask people to leave reviews. So even if it's in the back of your book, you either need to say something along the lines of, if you enjoyed this book, please go leave a review wherever you purchased it or your favorite online retailer. Or if you enjoyed this book, please go leave a review at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Goodreads, and anywhere else books are reviewed. The problem with that one is you are using specific names. So what often happens is, because you're mentioning Amazon, or if you're linking to Amazon, anything like that, you're going to get pushed back. Your ebook will get sent back from iBooks, from Apple. They won't take it. Sometimes you'll get it back from Kobo or other retailers as well. So you have to be kind of careful, which is why I typically recommend that when you're asking for reviews, you go the more general route. Please, if you enjoyed this book, please go leave a review from your favorite online retailer or book review site. That way it covers everything, and most people are immediately going to think of Amazon because that is where most people are buying online. So that's typically where people would think of anyway. Now, if you are talking, if I meet you up for lunch and we are friends, and I say, hey, did you read the newest book? And you say, yeah, it was great, it was fabulous. And I say, well, would you mind leaving a review? And you ask me, well, where? And I say, Amazon, Goodreads. Is Amazon listening? Are they listening? Hey, maybe. However, you're not going to get dinged for that. So again, it's on the wording. It's what you put out in public. It is also making sure that you leave it open to an honest review. We cannot ask for positive reviews, and we cannot pay for reviews on Amazon. So we cannot say, if you leave me a positive review on Amazon, if you leave me a 5-star review, I'll give you $20. We can't even say, I will give you a copy of my book for free if you leave me a positive or 5-star review. That is considered payment. So that's not allowed. What we can do is offer advanced reader copies or review copies of the book, but it must be worded very carefully, such as, I was wondering if you would be interested in reading a copy of my book for consideration of leaving a review. There's no obligation. You get a copy of the book, and if you enjoyed it or if you have feedback, I would appreciate an honest review. So again, it's a very fine line, and it's all in the wording, but we may ask for reviews. We may even mention Amazon in some cases, but we do, of course, it's a politics game, and we have to be very careful that we're not paying for reviews or working towards unbiased reviews. That's really what Amazon is concerned about. And the follow-up to that was a question where someone said, hey, my wife tried to leave a review for my book on our Amazon account, and she was blocked. It wouldn't let her. So as part of those unbiased reviews, Amazon does not allow the author or the publisher to leave reviews on their own books. Those are biased reviews. They will not, anyone who has like a financial gain in it or an interest in the book in that way, they will not post a review. And as I'm sure we've all seen at one time or another, we also sometimes will have reviews taken down if it seems like they're biased, or if someone mentions that if it's like, oh yeah, I've been friends with Keri since we were 3 years old and this is the best book ever. It could be taken down because that shows a direct link and that there may be bias in the review. If they see in our algorithms, because all of them do share information, if they see that we're BFFs on Facebook, they may take my review down. I personally can't really leave any book reviews because my name and my accounts are so tied to New Shelves, which is book marketing and PR and publishing consulting. So I would supposedly have a biased review for any books. They don't know if I'm working with that author or not. So I can't leave book reviews on Amazon. So again, they're trying to weed out biased reviews, and that is why you cannot leave a review of your own book. Your publisher cannot leave a review of your own book. And of course, if you do have an editorial review you'd like to share, that needs to go through Author Central. So you go to authorcentral.com, you go to the book tab, you find your book, and you can edit the details. And there is a spot to put editorial reviews. So if you have a review from Midwest Book Review or Kirkus, or a client of mine just got a city book review for that site, those can go in your editorial reviews through Author Central, but they're not left as a star rating or review. Let me see. Amazon sent me a message and said I had too many unverified reviews, and they said no more unverified would be posted, which is a bummer since people buy books at my events or from bookstores and cannot leave reviews. Yes, that can occasionally happen. And typically, though, it's not forever and ever. It is a pause. They're making sure that you are getting sales and you are getting natural reviews and things like that. So I've seen those messages several times, typically when people have big advanced reader pages and things like that. So if you have a big ARC team, if they all go at once, sometimes it's smart to ask them to stagger and go a little bit at a time, because sometimes they will say you've got too many unverified reviews, which is also why a lot of people, when they have a big ARC team, they have a big team that's going to help them launch, what they will do is they will purposely drop the ebook down to like 99 cents right on launch day so that everyone can go buy that book at 99 cents and then leave a verified review. So that's something to consider if you do have a really big launch team. But again, they do say there's no more, like no more unverified reviews, but that's typically a pause. And oftentimes people will be able to go and leave reviews later. Can you take down a negative or nasty review? Nope, you sure can't. This also showed up in a group that I'm like an admin expert in, and the question was the same thing. I got one negative review. The person didn't like the book, but they didn't like the book for something that was, I guess they didn't realize they were purchasing like a journal or a bullet point something, and they didn't realize that. They thought it was a novel or something. I don't know. But so it's frustrating when that happens. However, no, you can ask Amazon to take down a review, but in all of my years doing this, I've seen them take down one review, exactly one. And that one review was obviously an attack. It was slander on the author. That was a pretty nasty review, but it was very much towards the author. The language and the information they used was obviously someone who had known the author at some point. So Amazon did take that down, but I think mostly because they were worried about having slander on their site. But if it's a review where people really don't like your book or they had negative things to say, you can't take that down. Again, that's part of Amazon wanting to have unbiased reviews. They want to make sure that they are getting all the opinions, because let's be honest, a review is just an opinion, and some people may not like your book and some people may love it, but that's what they're there for, is so that people can see the spectrums. So unfortunately, you can't take it down. What you can do is, if you have some great reviews, encourage people that you know to go mark their favorite review, wink, wink, their favorite 5-star review as helpful, because the algorithms do pick up on that. When you're on Amazon, under reviews, you can mark something helpful, and the more reviews marked helpful, the more the algorithms say, oh, we should put this to the top and we should show it to more people. So you may be able to do something like that. But ultimately, negative reviews are part of the business. And so just keep working on your reviews, and hopefully the good outweigh the negative. Are there some inexpensive online sites where I can download a book cover photo or illustration from that site, or alter and paste the title, back cover, text, etc., in trim size, ready to upload in the Amazon publishing process? So John, it sounds like you're talking about a pre-made book cover. And yes, there are a lot of sites. So sometimes they actually put the text on for you. Sometimes they just give you the general page. Sometimes it's on their own site. So there is a site that I've used before. I think it's called Self-Pub Covers. Let me find it, and then I will share my screen. I have I'm not affiliated with this site. I am not recommending them. I'm telling you that I have personally used them before, and that it may be a good option for you. And there are other sites like this. So there are quite a few, depending on your genre, there are quite a few sites or cover designers that offer pre-mades. And essentially these are cheaper because they're not made to your specs. It is just a cover that's already made, and they will plug in the title and the information. So it's something the author maybe created for someone else and they didn't want it, or they did it in their spare time. So the price is typically much lower. And this site, it's selfpubbookcovers.com, is a pre-made site, and that's all they do. So you can just buy the front cover, you can have the full cover formatted, but what's cool is, so you can actually click on these covers. So we can just do pre-made covers here. Let's say we are going to search. I was gonna go to romance, but I'm a little bit afraid of that. Let's go to Western. So we can go to Western and we can search these covers. They can only be sold once, but these are all different covers that you can choose from. And you can see they range from $69 to $119, or a little bit higher. I think the highest one I've seen was like $149. But a different range of covers. So you can look through and see if there's anything that fits your book title. You can also search by a keyword. So I could say, Highland Castle, and I can do an exact match, which won't give me as many options, or I can do a general. See, nothing came up because it was too exact. That's right, we'll do a general search. Try again. So here, then it's going to pull up things they think are going to fit. So, hey, we've got some Highland Castle things going on. You can see if it fits or not. Maybe I really love this one. This is it. And I think that for $99, I would like to customize this cover. So it's an online platform where you can actually go in and you can customize your text. So I can say best, oops, I'm going to get rid of type text, best book ever. And I'm going to say, I don't like this purple. I would like to have it bright yellow. You can make your text size bigger or smaller. And you have all these different options. You can make something kind of glow, which gives it like a brightness to it. And you can adjust that. You can move it up and down. You can have your different options here. And then like I can say, well, this is where I'd like, obviously, I wrote the best book ever. I can't spell my own name, but I wrote the best book ever, which is not a real book. So you can type in that and you can move things. You can decide, I don't need this text. I just have my one, I just need my title and then I need my name and that's it. And so you can do that. So it's a little limited, but it is super awesome. I've done this with a client of mine. We use some of these covers and then you do have to pay an upgrade fee to get a full wrap, or you can take this front cover, and Amazon does have their cover creator, which is an option when you upload a book. If you upload a front image, they will help you create a plain back end wrap. So that's an option if you're on a budget. Another option if you're on a budget would be to maybe consider creating something directly in Canva. Now, I will say if you're going to do a lot of covers directly in, if you're going to do something directly in Canva, I highly recommend use Spring for a Canva Pro account if you're doing multiple covers. Canva Pro gives you more accessibility to tools. It also gives you more images and graphics that you can use. I've actually created several, or my team has created several book covers in Canva Pro. I did an emergency cover I think it was last week, and I did it on Canva. It took me, I don't know, to design the front cover, it took me maybe 30 minutes. And then I did a full wrap using the template from KDP and Ingram Spark. So if you are seriously got several books and you're going to do that, consider Canva Pro. I am an affiliate of theirs, but only if you use my link. So again, I'm not trying to sell you on it. I just personally use it for all the things and think it's awesome. Is there guidance as to what the preview fonts are? I don't know. Keri, I don't know if you did this earlier and I'm not catching on, but do you mean for a book cover or are you talking about something else that I missed? Which wouldn't be the first time, let's be honest. Yeah, so another kind of DIY question is, what do I know about Atticus? Atticus is a formatting tool. It's really meant for words. So many people have known about Atticus Vellum is used often. It's an Apple kind of Mac compatible product. So Vellum's been around for a long time. It is fairly pricey. It's a couple $100 and you can format books in there. But Atticus is kind of new on the scene. It's very inexpensive. It's $147 for a lifetime license. It was put out by Dave Chesson in the same group that does Publisher Rocket. So Atticus allows you to format your books into a PDF and ebook. There's a bit of a learning curve, but Dave is really great about doing YouTube videos for tutorials. I figured it out and that's not my specialty. So if I can figure it out, you probably can too. I will say it's something that it's newer, so they're developing. So sometimes they'll have bugs and things, but they're very responsive on their help chat and about kind of fixing things as you go along. So if you are looking to format your own books on an ongoing basis for $147, I think it's a good fit. I personally have it. I've used it, and I think it's fairly easy. They've got templates and different things like that. They have said that they have the program set up where you can do children's books. So you can drop in images, but you do have to save individual images with the text overlay on it for children's books. So you're not necessarily putting the text and formatting it in. You're literally taking each page as an image, dropping it into the program, and they put it together as a PDF or an ebook. And Tara's question was about, in the preview, those covers showed specific fonts that the designer wasn't showing. So yes, some of them will actually in that program. Let me go back over here. Let me go back to covers. Let me share again. I can find my share button. All right. So what you'll see is that is correct. This is like different fonts that I didn't have up here, but you can see there are suggested fonts. So for example, they're saying Morpheus is one of their suggested fonts. So I can, if I would like to follow that, can go, okay, I want to change it to Morpheus. So that was actually this one. So they give you the suggested fonts and you can choose to use them or not. So the other font was H font. There we go. So I could use those if I chose to. So they do give you all that information, or you can use something totally different. I may say, well, that's not me. I want Immortal and do that. So again, really great tool if you're looking to do that. All right, we talked about Atticus again. I think it's cool. It is. There is a learning curve. I have had people call me and be like, Keri, you said this was easy and you lied. I did not lie. It is easy once you get the hang of it. But again, there's a learning curve, but I think that's most software. Yeah, so if you are doing a laminated hardcover book and a paperback, can you use the same file or do you need a different file? You need a different file if you're doing either a hardcover with a jacket or you're doing a laminated hardcover. You need a different file than your paperback because a hardcover spine is going to be larger. Your actual file size will be different. So the size needs to change. Typically the actual, like what is on that cover and the design will stay exactly the same for a laminated hardcover because you don't have jackets, flaps that you then have to consider, but it is a different spine size. So it is a different cover file. All right, let me hop back over to our emails because I had another question from Christy and I see you here, Christy, so I'm not gonna leave you hanging. All right, so Christy here is about to start querying a soft mystery series, go you, and you're looking for a website that Amy Collins used to mention often. It was used to, you plug in a book title and then you get a web of comp titles. So Christy, what you are thinking of was called Yasiv, Y-A-S-I-V, and it was a program where you could tie in a book title and it would create this web, this cool web of different book titles that had comparisons to that book, and it was a great way to find comps. However, Amazon essentially said, we're no longer going to allow you to access our information that way, and they shut Yasiv down. So Yasiv is no longer a thing. However, I did find a cool thing that is kind of an alternative. Let me share my screen again. So if you have used Yasiv in the past or you like Yasiv, there's a new website. It's called Live Plasma. So liveplasma.com. I'll drop this in the chat. So Live Plasma is the same idea. I will say I don't think it has quite as much information. I don't think it's quite as spot on, but it is an alternative. The book option is in beta, so it's fairly new. So you can search things, and I was going for a book that probably had a lot of information. So I did The Maze Runner by James Dashner, and if you put this in, it'll search. And it will, for free, I did not pay for this, it will create this web for you. It's like it's a moving web like plasma. And it kind of moves around and it gives you these other options that they say they have connections to. So it is the same idea as what was there on Yasiv. So I would say this is a pretty darn good alternative. And if you say, that's what I think is very cool too. If you click on it, you say, okay, well, I agree. The book thief is a great comp. If you click on that one, it makes the book thief the main one and pulls up comps for that one. So as far as comp research, it's fairly good. However, I'd like to say the book thief is being connected to the art of not giving an F. So may it have some tie-ins? It may. Is it going to be a good comp for querying? Probably not. So I do think that you have to kind of do it with a grain of salt and kind of with some intelligence in it. It's a good start. It's a good option. And Tara is saying that it wouldn't let her connect. Let me see if maybe oh, it pulled right up for me, Tara. I don't know if I typed it in wrong, but it's just liveplasma.com. It's probably because I didn't give you a clean link. Probably my fault. So I do think, again, I think this is a good option. I think that it is as close to Yasiv as I have seen, especially for a free option, in a really long time. So the Midnight Library, let's try that one. And of course, this is in beta testing right now, so it's newer and limited. But, and again, the subtle art of not giving an F is up here again. So I do semi-wonder if they are limited in what they link to. But there's an option. And you can see, like, some of these, again, the book thief, the same books seem to pop up quite a bit, and they're all like big name bestsellers. So it's a start. It's not Yasiv. I mean, Yasiv was amazing. There's so much information, but it does give you a lot of information. Of course, these red lines are the ones they think are the strongest connections. So there's that, and you can kind of check it out that way. Let me see. I had to type the link into Google. Let's see. Yeah, and it's not working for some people. Maybe search live plasma. I don't know why it's working for me, not all of you. Yeah, I did not go to a login feature. I went straight to the book tab here. So it might be your settings on your computer. Maybe you have better safety settings on your computer than I do. Let me see. Yeah, it seems like it's working for some people and not the others. So it might be your settings. I'm not sure. Is there something similar to live plasma that helps us create titles for books? I have not seen that personally, Mike. I'm sure there's probably some type of software out there, but I haven't personally seen it. If anyone else has, feel free to drop it in the chat and let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to write down a note and I'll find out. I'll do some research this weekend. Let's see. So Tara's saying KD Spy's word cloud is helpful. KD Spy's word cloud. So help with titles. That's a good question. And again, I think all of the things with AI, here's the thing, is AI is amazing, right? Like, it gives all of this information. I was actually listening to a podcast from IBPA and Alessandra Tor on AI and the capabilities of KI in publishing last week. And it's amazing. It can do so many things, but AI, it's taught. And if it's not taught something, it simply doesn't know something. So I think we should always run through our own intelligence. We should kind of take it as a starting point, but definitely check it and make sure that you're putting that human touch on it. Don't just trust whatever AI pops out at you. Yes, so. Oh, just you wait, David. Just you wait. All right. I want to make sure I go back to these. All right. A question I want to answer for Dolores because she answered on the last Great Advice Friday we had 2 weeks ago, but it was at the very end. So Dolores has published 4 children's books that are on Amazon, and she's working towards sales and reviews. But to be honest, she hasn't done much since she published them. So she needs some workable ideas that will not be too costly. So when we're talking about children's book marketing, you actually have some great opportunities for marketing your books and not really paying much. Instagram and Facebook, simply posting and creating communities there are one of the best ways. Facebook ads on Facebook, that would make sense, are some of the best ways to reach parents and grandparents. And so those can be very low cost. You can do $1 or $2 a day. We are finding that some kids' books are doing very well on TikTok. Now, TikTok, as we know, you don't have to pay anything, but it is a time commitment because you got to be posting pretty regularly. It's encouraged 3 times a day when you're getting started, and that you're really posting regular short videos. So that's an option. Children's festivals, either festivals that your book ties into, book festivals, children's festivals. Those are all great ways to market a book that typically, again, they do take a time investment. But I always say that, you guys, is that marketing is always going to take time or money or both, because that is what it takes to market a book. It's simply, if there was an easy button, we all would have found it. Everyone would be rich by now, but unfortunately, there's not. Amazon ads are something to consider as we get closer to the holidays. Just reminding you guys that 40% of books, specifically children's books, are purchased between November and January. 40% for the entire year, November to January. So you have a great opportunity to get your book in front of people, especially if you have children's books, which are a big giftable item. There's been a big push, especially over the last couple of years, to kind of bring books back into the Christmas list and to kind of make it something. There's that thing, what is it? Something you want, something you need, something you wear, something you read, is the thing that's kind of coming back for minimalizing Christmas and then giving kids something other than video games. So I would say that you've got a huge opportunity for children's books right there. And it doesn't have to cost a lot. It could cost a lot, but it doesn't have to. And again, we always want to look at our ROI. When I'm working with ads, I always say we start low. We start with a low budget on things like Amazon and Facebook. But if you are making money or your marketing is paying for itself, then it makes sense to increase, because if you're spending more, but you're making more and growing your brand at the same time, that's a pretty good deal. The other thing you may do, again, time investment, but consider doing story times at schools or reaching out to schools in the age level of your books, or doing library readings. It is one of those things where if people start to know who you are, they love your books, well, then they'll ask for it. The library might stock it. Parents might go home and buy it. Especially if you have more than one book. That's a very special place to be, because when you have one book, you can promote one book and then get sales on the entire series, which helps you a lot in the long run. So those are just a couple of the free ideas that they do take time, but they are fairly easy. It's not rocket science. You could definitely do some of these, but you have to decide, if you don't have the money to put into marketing, do you have, or will you make the time to market your book? Because even if you pay someone, and I mean, look, I run a marketing firm for books. I am all for paying someone to help you market, but the truth is if that you're not going to actively participate, you're never going to be as successful as you want to. The days of someone else marketing for you or not really trying are just gone. Even big names have to be a part of the marketing process. They have to jump in. They have to be active and connect with their audience. They have to be willing to do signings and different things like that, or else they simply will not make it. So the question is, how much time are you willing to put in? And then making a plan around that and making something that is attainable, and also focus on what you love. If you really love doing story times with kids, do the library, reach out to schools. finding where you shine is probably one of the best options you have. Let's see. I already answered that one. Are there promotional ad opportunities through Overdrive to help get the attention of more librarians? I haven't specifically seen those. There are, so if you have to be uploaded directly. So if you're using Draft to Digital, you're sometimes cut out of some ad opportunities. But if you upload directly to, let's say, Barnes and Noble, for Nook, if you upload directly to Kobo for Kobo and Overdrive and different things like that, they do sometimes offer you ad opportunities, but you must upload direct. They do not take it if it's through an aggregator like Draft to Digital. Through Overdrive specifically, I cannot think of any specific ad opportunities, but again, I haven't gone looking. Typically, we reach out to libraries on our own because that's what we do, and we have a list there. But go look on their website and see. That's what I always do, is you go to the website, and if you go there and you search it, there's often a spot that says partner with us or advertise. Now, because Overdrive is one of those sites that is very library focused, and it's not ad focused, like let's say Amazon, you may have a harder time finding things like that. Sometimes there's like a publishers tab. I guess maybe I should share my screen as I talk through what I'm doing. Hang on. All right, so here we go. So here on Overdrive, again, I mean, you don't see a bunch of ads here. You see some, you see books up here and things like that, but these are really big name books. So what I always do though is I come to the bottom here, and sometimes it'll say advertise or different things, but this says publishers. So sometimes if it says publishers or authors, you can click on that and see if they have a program that you might be able to connect to. Now, if you're uploading directly through like Kobo, or you're going through Barnes and Noble Direct, then in that case, there is sometimes an option in that dashboard to promote through different places. So here we go, marketing opportunities. And then you can look down here. And it tells you different things. Engage with readers through global, national, regional, and local author events and book clubs, including Together We Read and Big Library Read. Inspire the next generation with your year-round and seasonal targeted campaigns for K through 12. So it sounds like they're kind of connecting through other places for advertising rather than advertising direct. But you can certainly look at those and see what's up. You never know. I have not personally ever used this. Whoops. Sounds like they're just getting ready for 2023. So you can always kind of check that out. Sounds like this is for younger readers. Again, maybe something you apply for. I don't know that they work with indie publishers as much, but if I'm looking for ad opportunities specifically with someone, I go to their website, go to the bottom, find advertising or publisher or author, and click on those and see where it takes me. Let's see. Yeah, so as far as cheap interior design options, again, your best bet is to get something like Atticus or Vellum and use it and be able to control it and use it time and time again, but you will have to learn the system. So love it. Let's see. I think that's good. See, I know we had, here we go, PCIP questions. I will answer some of these PCIP questions. I do have a YouTube video that is actually all about submitting for a PCIP block. So if you go to youtube.com and use youtube.com/newshelvesbooks and you search PCIP, you will find a video that I've done before that was all about how to submit for a PCIP block. I will drop that link right in our chat. If you're watching the replay, you are welcome to, again, just go to our YouTube channel and search it and you'll find it. But I will see what questions I can answer. So how many ISBNs do you upload for? So typically when you're getting a PCIP block, you want to get it for all of your editions that you'll be selling into libraries. So typically you're going to go for your hardcover, or I'm sorry, for your paperback or hardcover, and your ebook. If you have an audiobook, you want to do that as well, because there is an individual record, and most of the time when doing a PCIP block or a publisher's catalog and publication block for libraries, there is a discount bundle if you do multiple ISBNs for the same book, because it's mostly the same information, but they're uploading it in different places. What is an LC control number? That is a Library of Congress control number. You may or may not have it. If you are a publisher, chances are you didn't submit for those. If you're an indie author doing a single title, probably not. So that's okay. That's part of why you're getting a PCIP block, is to get all of that information cataloged. Audience, and this always trips people up, is when they say audience, what the heck do they mean? They are looking for a basic audience. Is this a trade? Is it a trade or general adult book? So that simply means it's for the average person. A trade or general book is everyday people. If it's educational, then they're thinking textbooks or college books. Juvenile obviously means juvenile, whether it be fiction or nonfiction. So most of them, for almost everybody, trade, general, book is what you're doing. If you're doing an adult book, trade general is what you're doing, whether it's nonfiction or fiction. Now, if you have a like college text, that's going to be educational. And then for younger books, for children's books, it's all pretty much juvenile. Let's see. And yes, when they ask for a summary, you're just going to put in your back cover blurb. And for the BISAC categories, that is in the video on how to find your BISACs. There is a website with all of the BISAC categories on it, where you can search with your keywords and then find the codes in the BISAC, the categories that work best for you in your book. All right, I think that's most of them there. Let me see. So if we have any more questions, we've got a couple more minutes. I don't think I missed any. I don't think. All right. Oops. Yes. So as far also questions about, I'm getting lots of questions about holiday sales. So holiday sales, yes, now is the time. Now is not the time to try to sell into a bookstore. They've already decided what they're carrying on their shelves for the holiday season, but you do have plenty of time to market to, you could probably squeak into libraries with a Christmas themed book, because they're pulling those out now. It is perfect timing to do social media ads for your holiday books, and also for social media and Amazon. Now's the time to do those kinds of ads. If you're going to do a discount, maybe you sell direct from your website and you're going to do a Christmas discount direct from your website. Now's the time for that. So anything that is a quick sale or that you can quickly get up, now is the time. Typically, I start my Christmas ads, or ads on like Christmas titles or winter holiday, Hanukkah, anything like that. We typically start our ads between mid and late October, and they will run all the way through Christmas Day. Once we hit Christmas Day, we're done, because people typically are not still buying Christmas books. It's like one of those things that you have this whole month. And actually, if you go into the stores now and everything's all decorated, literally they're like Halloween decorations right next to Christmas trees. It's kind of crazy. So people have this huge lead into Christmas, and they get the warm and fuzzies, and they want to read all the Christmas or the Hanukkah books or the Kwanzaa books, and they're getting all in the mood. And then literally the day after Christmas, they're like, okay, done, ready for summer. So typically holiday titles don't sell well after probably Christmas Eve or Christmas, because people are kind of just ready to move on. So that's when we stop our ads. Yeah, is there a way to discover the keywords other popular books used on Amazon? So there are quite a few tools for data mining that way. A really popular one, again, is Publisher Rocket from Dave Chesson. You buy that, the license, you have it for life. And so that's a very popular one. And the way that it does is that you can search for Amazon ad keywords. And the way that it pulls up is it's based off of what other people have bought or search when they're buying that book, the keywords that come from that book in particular, and different things like that. So it'll spit out keywords, and then again, it's AI, beautiful. But you do want to curate it down a little bit and then try those keywords. And there are other programs like that. That's just probably one of the most well-known, affordable options. So. Yeah, Publisher Rocket is great. I mean, it's got options for finding categories, what's selling. They just added options, I believe, for actually tracking like what's doing well in Kindle Unlimited. So Kindle Unlimited, of course, is the subscription service through Amazon for ebooks where people can purchase a subscription, kind of like Netflix, and then they can rent out as many Kindle Unlimited books as they want, and there's no additional cost. So you just pay your $9.99 a month, and you can read as many books as you want. So it's very popular in romance and mystery, in some fiction categories, especially with series, because people who are reading a book a day, who are reading a book every other day, or even one a week, it's way cheaper than buying single books, even at $2.99, $3.99. If you're reading a book every other day, that adds up, let me tell you. So Kindle Unlimited is very popular for that. And so they're starting to track those numbers because so many books are being read directly on Kindle Unlimited. It is estimated that Amazon sells, or people read their ebooks 91% directly from Amazon. And now that's a complete estimate. That was a weird way to say it, a complete estimate, because Amazon doesn't fully release all of the data on Kindle Unlimited. They do, of course, release kind of the pot and how much people paid into it, because then they divide that up and authors get paid per the page read. So there are some estimates about how much people are reading on Kindle Unlimited, but no real hard data because Amazon doesn't release that. So based on the sales and what's estimated to be read on Kindle Unlimited, it is presumed, it is definitely kind of thought of that Amazon has about 91% of the market for ebook sales, and the other 9% goes through Kobo, iTunes, Overdrive, and different things like that. So a much smaller point of the market. And there's also been some speculation that I would not be surprised that Nook is going to kind of die, that Nook is going to kind of die off in the years to come. They're really fighting hard, Barnes and Noble is, to try to keep Nook alive, but it was one of the first on the market. I remember getting a Nook when it first came out. My husband surprised me with one and I was so excited. But as Amazon has become this hub of not only devices, but also an easy place, I'm already connected to Amazon. I shop on Amazon all the time. So it's so easy to get my books from there and connect through that same account. And so Nook is fighting that fight, but I don't know that they'll be around for much longer. And that Nook devices will continue to be a thing for much longer, to be honest. Is a blurb the same as an Amazon book description? So it can be. Typically, when you have your marketing copy for a book, you have your back cover copy. And your back cover copy is going to be a little bit more formal. It's going to be something that tells us about the book. That back cover copy can be the same thing that you use on Amazon. It can be your book blurb. However, it's not uncommon that when using a blurb on Amazon or a sales site, people take their back cover copy and they make it a little bit more of a direct ask. So instead of just telling us about the book, it tells us about the book, and then it ends, click the buy button now to go on this romp-roaring adventure of fantastic, hilarious, whatever it is. So it's typically used kind of the same, but there can be a little bit more marketing direct appeal language on your Amazon sales page that actually has an ask at the end that you would not expect or want to see on a book cover. So it's just a little bit different that way, but oftentimes it is the same. It is, it's something that you kind of use in both places. So, all right, you guys, it's right at 11. We're going to head out, and I've been getting the most lovely direct messages and a couple text messages that have been making me laugh about dressing up in costume. And my Keri, your hair looks lovely. So thank you. My son, Odin, dear boy, came home yesterday and said, "Hey, Mom, I need you to dress up like a pioneer tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because when your son comes home and asks you to dress up like a pioneer tomorrow, the only acceptable response is, "Okay, but you're going to have to help me find my bonnet," which I did in fact have sitting here at my house, because we have Pioneer Day today at school. So I've got to run because I've got a bunch of little 4th and 5th graders to help make ice cream. And I should later, I'll post a full picture because I was going for Laura Ingalls, like, you know, that kind of thing. And my daughter, I was like, "I think I got like Laura Ingalls going on." And my daughter goes, "Well, you definitely hit widowed schoolmarm." So I'm really definitely doing this. Jane, you want to see the bonnet? It's just love, you guys. This is love. This is how much I love my son. I love him so much that I did, in fact, do my hair like this, and I am going to wear a bonnet. So whether it's Halloween or Pioneer Day, this is true love when you do it for the kids. So you guys, thank you for joining me, and we will be back next Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you have questions we didn't get to, just send them over by email. You can send them to info@newshelves.com and we will get those over. I have had quite a few people emailing me. I'm about to run off to the school, so I won't get to emails this afternoon. So just know that, but I will catch up with you on Monday. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.